Hey guys, my name is Jason. I'm the founder of Distress Loan Advisors, and it's been a bit. It's been about a month since my last video. So I'm just going to do a quick follow up today, update. Basically, I was off the last 2 weeks of August, and really nothing happened before that. So before we get into that, I help people with SBA loan related issues. For years and years and years, I've helped people settle regular SBA loans like 7As. And then, of course, when COVID hit, the EIDL loans were all that everyone wanted to talk about. And so I mainly discuss with people how to handle defaults or if you can't pay. Right now, as of September 7th, 2023. I am unaware of anyone who has successfully settled an EIDL loan. And until I see for myself that someone actually has, I will not be offering that as a service because I'm not going to take your money if I know there's no chance of settling. So, update since my last video. I had sent an email to the SBA and I had sent an email or I submitted an inquiry to my senator, who is Chuck Schumer here in New York. And so the SBA, the servicing office, responded and they some jibber jabber, and I responded back and I said, yeah, sure, whatever. A lot of people have told me from the SBA that they're really not being approved at this point. Is that true or not? And so they responded a couple times, gave me the runaround, and then finally responded with, well, we don't have you as an SBA borrower, so basically we can't give you any information. So that was, in my opinion, their way of saying, oh crap, different people are saying different things and maybe we should just shut up. So the update is nothing has changed as far as I'm aware. Offer and compromise for EIDL loan, not an option. And the SBA continues to be a giant pain in everyone's butt who's trying to do the right thing and they just won't let them. Examples of that are people who simply want to sell the collateral associated with their business that's closed. And the SBA is telling them crazy things like, well, you're going to have to pay off your loan if you want us to release the collateral, which makes no sense because the sale of the collateral is to benefit the SBA, not the borrower. I'm getting a lot more calls about regular 7A loans. Hold on one second. Dog's got to go out. And I'm back. Dogs are outside. So as far as 7A loans, regular, even express loans or 504 loans, I am seeing an uptick in inquiries for those, which typically will result in more settlement offers that I'm helping people with. So it appears that now that the summer's over, everybody's done with their vacations, everybody's getting back to it. I'll start to report back if I see anything interesting as far as settlements of regular SBA loans. At this point, they're mostly the same as they have been for the past couple of years, which is I would describe the SBA for 7A loans. Those settlements are tough but fair. So they want their pound of flesh, but they are willing to make deals if you can demonstrate to them that you lack the ability to pay. And then that, by the way, is kind of a nebulous term. They can always cite, sort of these broad reasons for rejections without actually telling us what the issue is. I'll give you an example. I had someone who they lost their job in January, but prior to that, they had good income. So right now, they're in a position where they really can't afford to pay back this loan in full. And so we made a settlement offer, and they cited future earning potential as the reason for a decline, which is a little annoying. We'll use the nice word, because the issue that I see with that is, the settlement offer is supposed to be based on your situation as of today. If this guy doesn't know when he's going to get a job and he doesn't have the money to pay today, all he can do is make an offer based on his circumstances today. So they've really put these borrowers in a really tight spot. It's in doubt whether or not we're actually going to be able to get anything done. But in situations where it's very clear that the borrowers don't have the income, don't have the assets to repay debt in full, the SBA is willing to consider them on regular SBA loans. Not ideal right now. So if your business is struggling, if you're going to close your business, just remember the prerequisites to a settlement are: one, the business needs to be closed; two, the assets need to be sold. And then only at that point will we be able to submit an offer in compromise for the individual guarantor. Also, keep in mind the SBA will not negotiate the release of your personal guarantee if the business is going to remain open. The only exception to that would be if you were selling the business to a third party with an arm's length transaction. I did have somebody ask me about arm's length transaction yesterday, and basically wanted to know, will the SBA approve an arm's length transaction? The answer is yes. But then they went on to describe a situation that truly was not an arm's length transaction. So just to be clear, arm's length means that both the buyer and the seller are negotiating in their best interests. So in other words, if I sell my business to my cousin, it could be argued that my cousin may be looking out for me in his negotiations. And so the SBA could take issue with that. And so if there's a doubt as to whether or not the sale of your business constitutes an arm's length transaction, you could certainly just ask your lender, or at least advise them of what's happening. And that way you don't run afoul after the fact if they discover something like that. So that's kind of my general refresher. Here we are now in September of 2023. I'm going to start making more content specific or question specific videos again going forward. Of course, I'll provide updates if and when they're available. And in the meantime, if you have questions, my website is in the notes below. You can schedule a consultation there. Just a friendly reminder, I do not do free consultations anymore, just because I was so overwhelmed with a lot of, I guess you would call them, tire kickers who wanted free information. So now I do charge for those consultations, and that fee can be applied towards any future services if you hire me for an offer in compromise. So that's it. I'll see you on the next one.